Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of A Safe Space for Men. I'm your host, as usual. And of course, before we get started, please remember to rate, review, like, subscribe, and download and share the podcast. I truly appreciate it. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy motherfucking New Year. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. Merry belated Christmas if you celebrate. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Any holidays that you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate, just happy January. It has been a while. Um, Obviously, like everybody else, I've been busy as hell. Holidays, I don't know if you don't know by now. Holidays are always like extremely busy for me. I kind of get sidetracked from like the world because um, it's just a lot to do. I just feel like every time like Christmas rolls around, just it just seems like there's less and less time to do like the regularly scheduled shit that you would do. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Um, it's I'm happy that the year ended. Last year was like I don't know. In my opinion, last year was probably like the worst year of my life. So now like I just feel like this year's gonna be the best year of my life, and every year thereafter. But no, in all seriousness, like it was a very trying year. It was a very busy year. It was filled with a lot of just ups and downs, and I don't know, a lot of lessons. That's the most important thing. A lot of lessons in last year, and I learned a lot about myself, and again, being accountable for like my mistakes and stuff like that. So, um, real fast, what's with people being mad when people don't tell them Happy New Year? And people, it's Happy New Year, not Happy New Year's with an S. I probably did say it in the beginning too. I don't know, but it's that I ain't gonna lie. That kind of when I see people type that out, like they type in like Happy New Year's with an S, I'm like, yo, it is Happy New Year's, only one. But I've been seeing people like I don't like. Is that where we at as a society? Like we at this big age, and we're like, yeah, if you didn't tell me Happy New Year, like you're dead to me. And it's like, dude, do you? I know I can't be the only one that, at least at this point in my life, in this stage in my life, like I genuinely, uh, I don't even have the patience to text all the people that I care about and all the people that I know Happy New Year. You know what I mean? Like if I did that, like I would have to really, like it would be a lot of text messages. When I was younger and I first got a cell phone and stuff like that, like yeah, it was a big deal. Because you're like 17 and 16 or whatever with a device and you want to text all these people. But like at 39, I'm just like, are you alive? I'm happy you're alive. Like it's not that deep. I'm gonna hang out with you soon. I'm gonna see you. But yeah, I've been seeing people post that like if you didn't tell me Happy New Year, don't bother hitting me up and stuff like that. And I'm just like, we gotta like grow up. Like, what's going on? Um, I get it if it was like someone doesn't tell you happy birthday, but it's Happy New Year. Like, what is happening? But yeah, back to what I was saying. Like, yeah, last year was quite possibly no, not definitely not quite possible. It was definitely the worst year of my life. And that's kind of like going into this year. And I've never really been like a New Year's resolution type of person, but I kind of hit the ground running this year, just being trying to stay locked in, being focused on the things that I want to change, preventing, repeating some of the mistakes I made last year and the years before. And again, like I said, just being accountable, like honestly, just being accountable with myself, being very intentional about the year. And for me, this year is really going to be about like making and maintaining a lot of the changes that I'm going to make. And it's got to be that way. And it's just I'm really being proactive, honestly, for the first time in a while about making sure I do those things and making sure that I follow through on everything that I'm trying to do, want to do. I got a checklist and everything. I'm going to continue to have checklist. Stuff is going to get added to it. And like I said, making the necessary changes, man, because I really towards the end of the year, I really found myself being in a place where like I felt like really alone. I felt like my mental health was in shambles. It was just like everything was like happening at once. I had so much shit going on, um, and it was just like now I'm obviously in a much more peaceful, relaxed state of mind. Again, I try to never lose sight of how blessed I am at the end of the day, and even while having a lot going on, it's you always gotta try to find the positives, and a lot of times it's really hard because it be so much shit taking place, and you just like, man, what the fuck? Like sometimes it really is like, why me? Like, why I got to deal with all this shit? But then also understand like I'm being prepared. I'm being prepared for something better. Uh, this is all gonna lead to something else. Like there's a reason. You know what I mean? There's a good reason why I gotta go through this. Oh my God, is that a? I have a. So I'm looking at my laptop right now, and I know it's mine. There's a gray beard hair on my laptop. I'm just gonna toss that, and I know it's mine because I was combing my beard out before I started recording. And yeah, my beard is going great. I was looking at pictures when I first started working like 4 years ago at my job, and like, my beard was just black. Like, there was like no grays, and now it's just yeah, yeah. I'm getting old, guys. But also this year I turned 40. Yeah, I turned 40, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm thinking of taking a trip. It's always easy to say like have a party or obviously my birthday's in summer, do a barbecue or have something in my house. But I think I'm kind of over the barbecues. I ain't gonna lie. I think those are over with. Or if I do them, it's gonna be like a very small group. Like I'm yeah. Unless I get a girlfriend or something like that, I think I'm over that because it's so much. It's so much responsibility, and then especially if it's like my birthday, I don't want to be responsible for anything. You know what I mean, like cooking and cleaning and doing all that. So yeah, it's I don't know. I'm leaning more so towards taking a trip somewhere. I'm not sure, but I could use a vacation. I haven't been on a vacation in a little over a year, actual vacation. So yeah, I don't have nothing planned yet. I should. I got to do something this summer. But but yeah, honestly, getting back to my point, it's just the biggest thing for me is just always also like I said, not only understand how blessed I am, just remembering like everything is gonna be okay, and just taking things one day at a time. You know what I mean? Like it really that's really like the best approach to have. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when you're like dealing with things and you're troubled by this and that, there's like deadlines on shit, and it's because there's things coming up. But it's just like I can only control the things I can control, on a day by day basis, hour by hour, minute by minute. You know what I mean? It's and I gotta handle it that way. I will say though, as I get older, the older I get, the more troubled I become, and the more things I find myself dealing with. The more I find myself talking to God and just praying and just again, because that was taught to me by my grandma. You know what I mean? Like she was heavy on that. Like she would drop into prayer in the middle, like of whatever was going on. I mean, it was a beautiful thing to see. So, but it's a good thing, because again, just having that upbringing. You know what I mean? Like, and I have understandings of a certain thing, and I'm not the most religious person. I'm not about to pretend or act like I am. But that was instilled in me, as I was raised, you know what I mean, by my parents. But I also honestly I feel like you know, God really wanted me to like hit rock bottom, so I could like really reach my full potential. You know what I mean? You ever heard like that's kind I mean that's and the more I thought about it, it made more and more sense. Like I kind of got it. You know what I mean? It's also because it'll humble you. It'll give you a reminder of like um how good you do have it, because once you go from one point to another point and it's like, oh shit, all right, this is what this is actually bad, like where I was at before and I thought was no, I was actually doing very well. But yeah, it's just as far as the new year, I just really want to be intentional, really intentional, which is why now I'm using like an accountability tracker. It's like a daily checklist of the things, and you write out the things you want to do, whether it's like prayer, whether it's the gym, whether it's getting my daughter to school on time, or packing lunches, or getting to work on whatever. It's a number of things I have on it. Right now I got like 6 or 7 things. I'm gonna add more to it. I think it's like 15 slots. And shout out to my guy Docinco, because he was using that last year and the year before. And it just dawned on me like, because it worked well for him. Like he was really good at it. Like he was using it every day. I mean, he was posting it every day. And I was like, damn, what? It actually good. And so far, it's my first week using it. It's been really good. I started using it this past Monday. I didn't start on the first. only because I just didn't. I think I started like on the fifth, the fourth or the fifth or whatever, and I just been checking everything. I don't always get all check marks. There are days where I got X's, but it's just about like you're just taking the steps. It's like it's a staircase. You're just taking the steps to get better, one day at a time, and really just trying to lock in again. It's being consistent. Really just uh, being consistent and getting the things. Like I really want to be. That's the main thing. I want to be consistent. I want to be more serious about the things about being accountable. Be more serious about my health, my goals, my dreams. Reading. I've already read one book this year already. So I really want to get back into reading. I got a lot of books to read. I got a lot of books in my Amazon cart that I want to order, but I haven't bought yet because I haven't read the ones that I already have. To be fully honest, I hadn't finished a book in probably well over a year. I really bullshitted last year away. I'm not even gonna like it was. I would have stretch runs where I was knocking shit out, and then I would just have stretch runs where I was just like, just I was just here. Honestly, like I was just here, but I had so much shit going on. Again, some of it, again, self sabotage. Some of it was on me. Other shit was beyond my control. But yeah, I want to be more serious about my peace, about being consistent. I got no self sabotage written down, and mostly about my boundaries. And because again, boundaries is huge to me because I learned it in therapy. And not that I say I got away from it. I would just say that it's just like I gotta set more boundaries on top of the ones I already have, whether it's with people or whatever it is. And it's one of the main things is really being selective with my time and who gets my time. You know what I mean? Like I really have to lock in and focus on that. And I feel like when you do set boundaries, folks will get mad at you for setting them. It's really an amazing thing to see. People will get mad at you for setting boundaries, and the only reason they get mad at you for setting boundaries is because of, they benefited immensely from you not having boundaries. You know what I mean? Whether I don't care who it is, it could be your friends, your family, whatever. People don't. What I most understood or I have learned about people who don't always necessarily have your direct best interest when you are trying to make changes and you're trying to like change things about your life and set boundaries. It makes them uncomfortable, and they don't like to be uncomfortable. They're cool with you being uncomfortable. They're cool with you not being the best version of yourself. But the minute you try to make changes, like they used to you being like um, the worst form of yourself because that makes them feel better. And a lot of times you gotta set that boundary. Sometimes you gotta cut those people off. Will I have to do that this year? Will I have to cut anybody off this year? I hope not. But if I do, um, it's all in God's plan. And I'm gonna go with that. And I also feel like, just again, back to me, like a lot of my problems really just came from entertaining the wrong people or allowing the wrong people in my space, allowing people in my space that God didn't intend for me to have around me. And um, it's with boundaries also, I got to become a little more private. Like I really, because I'm sometimes I'm an overshare, and not necessarily on here. Like on here, I'm just transparent, but I just mean in general. Like if you people that are around me and know me know I speak very freely on whatever comes to my mind. I speak on it. I say it. I really I oh shit. I generally don't give a fuck, but a lot of times you really you got to be private because um a lot of times you're quick to share info, people will use that against you, or if they don't use it against you, they're really sometimes people just want to know what's going on with you, or they want to know the information so that they can make sure that they're still ahead of you, um, so that they feel like you haven't progressed past them. You know what I mean? If you're still stressed out, if you're still struggling with these three things, and um, you know what I mean, and you haven't corrected the things that you're doing wrong in your life, and they know that, then they kind of like, oh, all right, yeah, I'm still ahead of him. I'm still doing better than him. And I've noticed that sometimes with people when you like I know I mean if I even go back to like probably like 10 years ago when I first started really like working out and stuff like that, like there were just people I had some friends that, and again I've said it before, it's always those little like sarcastic little jokes. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to the gym now, and it's someone to make like a Herbalife joke. I'm not even on Herbalife. I'm really just working out. But it's kind of speaks to them because like you're upset because you're out of shape, you're fat. I hate to use that word, but not healthy. You're not doing anything to better yourself. So the best thing you could do is accuse me of doing some shit that I didn't do because you're jealous of the fact that I'm getting in shape, losing weight. I'm trying to like better myself. You know what I mean? And it's not even um like a physique thing, like me looking better or anything like that. But I feel healthier. Like you know what I'm saying? I look healthier. You know, you notice that I'm making changes, and what I've noticed, I've gotten really a more. I've become more aware of catching those jokes. Like when people say things that are just like, it'd be like sometimes people were like, the joke beneath the joke is some jealousy. Like sometimes people I've caught people before they saying like, "Oh, Ryan got a lot of kids," and it's be like, "But I've never seen you in a relationship in my life. You don't have no kids. Like, is anybody having sex with you? Are you having sex with anybody? Like, are you like, do you even like the opposite sex? Like, do you like any sex? Like, what is, are you do you even, have you been on a date? Like, that's some, and I prevent myself from doing it because when I go there, like, I can really hurt people's feelings. I'm trying not to do that. But sometimes it's like, yo, like, cause like, okay, yeah, it's cute, haha, I got a lot of kids, but haha, I take care of my kids, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Um, and like sometimes people are jealous of that. Like, you know, you're jealous because nobody's procreated with you. Um, I'm gonna get off topic, but something else I did while I was away, while I haven't been on here recording, I watched the Diddy documentary. I'm probably late to the party. It's probably, I think it dropped obviously sometime in December. Uh, that man is a motherfucking menace, y'all. Like he is top five worst human beings ever. He's probably like, yeah, he's up there with the worst of the worst. Somehow I forgot about him beating Cassie ass. I don't know how I forgot about that. Like when they played the video, I was like, oh my god! Like I seen it before, but it was like watching it all over again was new. It was like fresh, and I just like there was just so much in that, and apparently they didn't even show all the footage or give all the information they have. Like they're working on a whole nother I think something on A&E about it with the rest of it. Like it's gonna get, this shit is gonna get crazy. I think so much shit is gonna come out, even though so much has already come out. Something that I didn't like as I saw people online like saying that like 50 Cent was wrong because he's like a black man tearing another black man down um, for putting out this stuff, this, and that. Okay. Playing devil's advocate, wasn't Diddy a black man doing all these horrible things to black people? Like it wasn't, you know what I mean? And not saying it would be okay if he was doing it to white people or Chinese, but what I'm saying is he's doing the exact, you know what I'm saying? But he's actually really hurting people. He's really doing horrible, disgusting, heinous things to people. And I'm not talking about none of the sex stuff. Like if, because I was one of the people when he was on trial. I was just like because I until I got the details of the things he did outside of that. Because for the trial part, I was just like, y'all trying to like put this man in jail because he's a freak. That's kind of how I felt about it. And that's kind of where I left it. And that's just all I thought it was. But it was so much stuff of going on. He was really on some like black mob mafia type shit. Like this man is nuts. But yeah, that was really my biggest takeaway was that he was just treating his own people like shit. It was other than the one girl. I think I forgot her name. I think she was white or Puerto Rican, whatever. But no, she was white. Other than her, like everybody else was black. Every female, every guy, every person that he destroyed, Tupac, Biggie, and it just I don't know. As much as I would love to be like wealthy, but it just seems like money really changes people because it's insane, man. It was just really crazy. I thought it was really fucked up that he had Biggie pay for his own funeral. Like I just like you're a fucking scumbag. Like that's crazy, man. Moving along though, I was having a conversation recently, and we were just talking about like single parents and uh, I have a lot of friends that are single parents and people, they be like beating themselves up about certain things and I don't know. I just want to say, like, to all my single parents out there, just uh, give yourself grace, like, first before anything, besides time to yourself that you can get. But yeah, just give yourself grace because the shit really ain't easy. You more than likely never expected to even be in a situation or have to bear the burden of like primarily being responsible for handling your child or your children. You know what I mean? or being responsible for the majority of your child's needs. But this is what it is. This is the card you were dealt, and you got to make the best of it. You're doing a great job. You're doing the best job you can. And it's just it's crazy because I it's like the moment the relationship ended, you start not getting any support from the other partner or the other parent, and it's really it's really sad. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you don't even I see a lot of people that didn't even have the support of the other person while they were in the relationship. I see that now with people. And I like to call those people like in-house deadbeats, and we'll get to that in a second. But it's really no, we'll get to it now. So like to me, and this is not like a this is not in the dictionary. Why am I coughing? Excuse me. And this is not in the dictionary now, but this is like my definition of an in-house deadbeat. I should really have some water. In-house deadbeat is basically like somebody who's in a relationship and then like kind of gives off the perception or the image that they are like a good parent. And like I said, like the minute that the two people go their separate ways or they break up, like now Mr. Father of the Year is not Father of the Year. He's like either weekend dad or one day out the month dad or stuff like that, and vice versa. It's I see it a lot, man. Mostly with men, unfortunately, I do see that a lot. Not so much with the women because normally the kids end up going with the women because in those situations, usually, the women are the ones that are handling everything. They're taking care of the couch, taking care of the child, bathing, doing hair, taking them to school, doing all that stuff, cooking, cleaning and everything. And then when they separate, it's like they're doing all that shit on on their own. Um, but yeah, they're like basically an in-house debut, like they're there, but they're not really there. And like I said, the moment the relationship ends, it's fucking over. And it's just it really disturbs me. I don't know. It was just something that was on my mind. Something I want to touch on because someone took it. I hate how like, and I really should stop coming on here to explain to myself, but I just hate like when I post a clip or you like someone hears like a clip from the podcast and they just hear one thing and they're like, oh, like you know what I mean. So I had when I was recording with Aunt, we were talking about like being a stepdad and stuff like that, and I was like, I never want to be a stepdad again, and that was like all they heard, be a stepdad again, and it's just like they took it and ran with it. Oh, like so. How can you have 5 kids and not want to date anybody with kids? Whoo, if you listen, that's not what I said. You gotta hear the whole interview. But I'm gonna re-elaborate on why I said I do not want to be a stepdad again. Basically when like you become a stepdad, depending on how old the child is, and it's particularly to a situation that I was in, that I was a part of. It's like you get all the responsibility and the possibility of no reward or no acknowledgement. And what I mean by that is, particularly in my situation, I took care of and raised the child. When the father decided, you know, like he decided to do other things. We'll just say that. And then when he decided that he wanted to be a dad and step up and be a father, this child, I was just like 10 years later. I basically get pushed to the side. You know what I mean? At least that's how it was. That's how I felt. So, um, and we're talking earlier. We're talking like like this child was with me, or holidays were spent with me. You know what I mean? Even after me and the mom separated and stuff like that. And I'm not looking for like brand points. Please don't tell me like, oh Ron, that's decent. Like, yeah, I appreciate that, but I do it because like that's just if I build a bond with a child, like um, you know what I mean? Especially that child's calling me dad and things like that. Like that's just who I am. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you again, like you technically you have no authority once they decide like, oh, we're gonna push you to the side, or you're not as relevant as you once was. There's no, it ain't like I can hire a lawyer and be like, hold up, bitch. Like you can't. It's not nothing you could do, at all, but be hurt, sad, salty, um, and I have no desire to experience that ever again. I don't feel like uh raising another child that isn't mine, and then raising them as mine, treating them as mine, and then being told years later, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I'm not doing it again. That doesn't mean I won't date anybody with kids. That just means I won't do that particular scenario ever again. And I probably wouldn't date any. Now, I will say I'd probably would steer clear of dating anybody with small children. There's probably an age on that. I don't know what the age is. It could be 3, it could be 5. I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to elaborate on that. I feel like there was a couple people, and I be trying, like people be trying me, man, but that just heard that and it was like, no, like and I, you trying to explain it to them, like, especially like, because it was mostly women that was getting offended. It was like, all right, how about let's, and I would always paint the picture like, all right, take Jordan for example, Jordan 6. If me and you dated, and then like you raised her and you were doing her hair every weekend for the next 10 years, and then she turned 16, and then allow her mom to step in and completely make you irrelevant, like, and it was like, then it was like, oh yeah, like, bitch, shut up. Like, I'm sorry, and I don't mean it in the right, but that's how I talk. But yeah, and then another example of that was I was watching this interview with Deontay Wilder. If you don't know who Deontay Wilder is, he's a heavyweight boxer. He's the former heavyweight champion of the world. He was in like 3 fights with Tyson Fury. Um, one of the better fighters of his generation. Well, one of the more successful fighters of his generation. I won't say better. One of the more successful. He said his girlfriend and his stepson, he had put them in his will, like he was setting them up, like he was one of his kids because he had raised them and stuff like that. And one something happened, which led to the kid telling him, "You're not my father." Like I guess he told him to do something. This, like he was talking, he was being a stepdad like he's supposed to be. He told him, "You're not my father." And I'm just like, that's one of the worst things you could have a kid say to you, that you're going to work to provide for. I'm providing a life for you to make sure that you're safe. I am the man of the house, so I'm the protector as well, not only the provider. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, I'm the counselor, I'm everything. And you have the audacity to tell me you're not my father? I'm not your father? Okay. And he said, he went and okay, he went and took them all out his will, this and that. And again, like I just never want to be in that position, man. And it's really more about, for me, it's more about the risk of being hurt and not being appreciated, and not necessarily the idea of really raising somebody else's kid. It's really not that, man. Uh, one last thing that's kind of been bugging, not kind of, that really has been bugging me, man, is people need to humble themselves. I'm really getting tired of people like clowning other people uh, for where they are in their life, or they're in rough patches, or they're struggling with stuff, whatever it is. And it's just like like everyone's comparing everything to everybody, or they think they're better than this person. And I remember my grandma used to say, comparison is a thief of joy. I'm pretty sure she got that from somewhere else because I've heard it a lot thereafter. But it's like you are clowning somebody for not having the things that you classify as cool, and so you feel like you could talk shit about them, or that makes you better. And um, it's just really, it's crazy because it's folks be acting crazy. Folks be acting like they always had a brand new car. Folks be acting like they always had a mortgage, or they always had the nice house they live in. They always had, the nicest clothes. They always had food in their house. They always had gas in their car. They always had a healthy marriage. And it just be like, yo, sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up and just be humble, because it's like, just stop judging, because just as quick as you are to judge people, is just as quick God will humble you and bring you back to reality. You know what I'm saying? And remind you of where you came from. You know, and it's just like, I don't know. It's really, I don't necessarily want to go into details of the story, because it was something that happened around me that triggered me to have that feeling. And it was just like, I don't really get people, man, because I know that motherfuckers didn't always have it the way they have it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why you're at in your life is because you took the steps and you worked hard to get there. But there's a reason you worked hard, because you didn't like where you were at. You know what I mean? And it's just, especially with young people, I feel like older people, definitely like people that's near my age, are like so hard on kids that are like 24 and 25, and they're like figuring it out, and they're like whatever they're doing, and they just judging them. And I'm like, yo, like, that was us. Like, we was 24, 25, figuring it out with kids. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't always the best parents. Like, you didn't just wake up and know how to be a dad and know how to be a mom or a husband or anything, et cetera, et cetera. And it's I see people judging people for where they live at, and it's just like it's now all of a sudden, like if you live in North Philly or you live in South Philly, like it's a bad thing. And it's like, wait a minute, like you lived there before. Like now because you live in the county, you're better. Like, come on, like shut the fuck up. Um, and it's a lot of times some people be living in like luxury apartments and they're like, yeah, I live in a luxury apartment. I got this, I got that, I got a pool, I got, a dog park, this and that. And it's like, but you struggling to pay fucking whatever it is, 2,500 a month, 3,500 a month, whatever it is. But I live in North Philly and I own my house. Like what you know what I'm saying? Like it's a big, it's what is best for you. Like if that's your preference, that's great. I'm not knocking you for that, but don't knock other people for having things that you don't perceive as cool. You know what I'm saying? You driving around in a 2026 whatever Audi or what's them Elon cars, Teslas, this and that, but your fucking car note is $1,000 and your insurance is 600. Like what? Like shut. When do you eat? How are you eating? Meanwhile, you have people that own their cars and they're just a little older, but they own them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I think it's all about you know, I guess your perception of what makes sense for your life. You know what I mean? I just think people just gotta stop judging, man. Um, I'm just really getting sick of people judging. It's like a cultural thing because I never see white folk doing it. I don't never really see white folk judging their people or other people for what they have or don't have. It's really our culture. It's like as a culture, we've been tricked into believing that everything has to be like some type of brand or brand new, like for us to fit in. And it's like, man, I know one thing for sure, two things. What is it? One thing for sure, two things for certain. Um, no matter how much money I ever have, like I'm gonna buy my underwear from Target. Like I'm gonna get my Fruit of the Looms or whatever it is. Like my boxer brief. Like I don't like. It's just I think I always think logically. I'm never gonna be that person like ever. And I don't even need to knock on wood because I would never be I would never change because of money or change because of status or how much money I make. Obviously, I want to make a lot of money, but it's not so that I can shit on people or I can do better. It's really so that I can take care of my family and uplift my people and the people that are important to me. But yeah, it's just really been bugging me, man. Everybody kind of just really needs to worry about themselves. I'm about to wrap this up, man. Uh, my message for the day, no, my message for the year is just really just worry about yourself. Stay focused, stay dedicated, stay consistent on the things that you're trying to work on in your life. Control your own shit. Just only be concerned with your household. And also all the men out there, go get checked. Please make sure y'all getting your checkups every 6 months. Get a full workup. Get the scans. Get the EKGs hooked up to you. Get your blood work done. Um, not only just for STDs and stuff like that, but you want to check and make sure you're no type of cancers, prostate, kidneys, anything, all that stuff. Get checked. Anything feel off, go get checked, man. And I just say it because I keep seeing a lot of people just die so young. A guy at my job died late last year. Um, Respects to him, I'm not gonna say his name, but I believe he was like 47. And he was sick. He had cancer. Then another guy just died about 2 weeks ago today. Just suddenly, I believe he had a heart attack. Like, and he was young. He was only 39. He was 41, and he was a really nice guy. Like that's like there's nobody there could say anything bad about him. He was just generally a really nice guy, hard worker, showed up to work every day. He was just a really nice guy, and he died really young. And we just got to stop being so stubborn because I think with his situation, like wanted him to go to the get in the ambulance, he was just like no. And for one reason or another, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we could just really be stubborn as men. Sometimes we're worried about the charge of the ambulance and all that. Because if you're enrolled in the ambulance, the charge is ridiculous. Like it's insane the amount of money you got to pay to like save your own life. But yeah, man, fellas, brothers, guys, get checked out. Make sure just be on top of your health. Like let this be the year to really just take your health seriously. Be up on your vitamins, whatever it is. You know, I take a bunch of different shit. I'm not about to run down everything I take, but yeah, just take your health more serious, man. It's really important. We all got families. We got people that love us. We got people that care about us that we need to be here for. So, just take it serious, man. Man, just be on top of your health, man. Also, be on top of your mental health. Be on top of your mental health. You know, this is a mental health podcast. Even though I don't know, did I cover anything mental health today? Maybe I did. I don't know. But I appreciate y'all. I'm about to get up out of here, and as usual, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching, and until next week, peace.